Good afternoon. This is Bill Gross, and I'm hosting today our Probate Mastery weekly mastermind call. We do this every Tuesdays at 12 noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern time, and whatever time it is in Hawaii. I think 9 a.m. in Hawaii, and all times in between and front and back. And we talk about all things probate real estate related for those people working the Probate Mastery program founded by Chad Corbett. It's meant to be participative. It's meant to be a place where you can come ask questions, share challenges, update on progress, share best practices. And you can do that by raising your hand in the Zoom app or put a question in the chat box. So love to have you participate. You can get more information on Probate Mastery at probatemastery.com. And again, this is meant to be participative. It's not meant to be kind of like a thank you for buying and go on with your life kind of program. I wanted to share two topics, and then we're going to go into a real live agent who's in the process here. Two quick topics that came up to me this week. One is niches. And I think that I would say that unless you're in a small, rural market, most of us who are in urban areas, probate really isn't a niche. It might be like a genre or a super niche. And the people that I find who are successful in this business go into probate and find within probate their own niche or their own path or their own lead generation method. And I think the misnomer comes from data companies that sell what they call leads, and I would just call data. And a business might take the data and convert them into leads and then sales. And there's various processes or niches or systems you can use to do that. So if you follow me, you know that I started going to court every day. That was my niche, I was the probate expert in court in LA County. And then over time, I built a great business. I relaunched my career at 6 years old from scratch. In a year and a half, I built a great business. Of course, COVID came and shut the courthouse down. I changed my business format to another format. But what I want to say is there's multiple ways to skin the cat. On this call and on Chad's interviews, he's interviewed people who specialize in senior living. He's talked about probate advance work. He's had reverse mortgage lenders. There's a lot of different niches within the niche. I had a phone call today from a guy who, I want to say shout out to Aaron if you're on the call, who was a bond rep, I guess you would call him, and he sold bail bonds. But the same companies do bail bonds also do probate surety bonds. And the bail bond business went through some changes. And instead, he moved into probate surety bonds and has used that to build relationships with attorneys and is now selling real estate as a result of that. Focus on the niche within the niche. Find your path, the method that works best for you. Don't just buy one from a company that tells you what to do. Chad has recently offered the estate exec as a great tool and I think a unique niche in most markets. One to consider. But find that one. But the other part is number two, you got to get into action. What I admired about Aaron was he gave me a phone call. We talked a little bit about what he's doing, and we're going to actually work on some programs together. And the reason why I think he'll be successful is because you got to get into action. There's no program that I'm aware of. You can just buy data, not leads, data, mail it out or hand it to an ISA and sit back and have listings pour in. I don't think it's quite that simple. Maybe at some point in time it gets that simple, but to launch a business, I believe requires more work, more strategy, and a more precise approach than just that. So those are two things I wanted to share today. Where number one, find your niche within the niche. And two, let's get into action. Now, speaking of that, one of the people who's participated pretty regularly for a while is Claire Monique. And we'll bring her in because we were talking about how to get business from attorneys. And one of the homework assignments was to go to your local court. So Claire and Monique, how are you doing today?
Good, Bill. How are you?
Great. And real quick, where are you from?
Arizona.
And so what's the county courthouse? What county are you in?
I went to the Pinal County courthouse.
It's not Maricopa, which is the bigger county, but you went to Pinal
Right.
County, which is nearby.
Right.
And so what inspired you to do that?
Well, you challenged us last week and I said I would, so I had to.
Wow. Wow. If my wife would ever do what I asked her to do, and I'm just kidding. She can't hear that, thank God. Okay, so I challenged you and you did it. So what was the experience like?
It was really interesting. All the leads cannot provide me probate information for Pinal County. But by going to the courthouse, I was able to speak with the court clerk who gave me the link to, or actually the website to go and order all of the cases that were filed in that county for probate over the last 5 years.
Boom. Boom chakalaka.
I just sent my request in last night. So once I get my list, then I'll start working it.
What do they charge for that?
Nothing.
I'm sorry, one more time. Did you say it's
Nothing.
free?
Yeah.
My favorite price.
My favorite price.
I love anything that's free. I'm a little on the cheap side. Okay, so that's exciting. I'll tell you, I'd love, if you don't mind, if you're able to share the data and do some analysis with you and maybe report back to you kind of what I learned by looking at it if you're open to that. But I think that you have a unique opportunity because I would imagine 99% of the real estate agents in Pinal County would have stopped and gave up, right?
Right.
Including you up until recently.
Yeah.
Okay. So congratulations for getting over the hurdle. Now look behind you. There's very few competitors.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about what else did you learn while you're there?
I learned which courtrooms the probate hearings are held in and what days they are heard.
Interesting. So what days are they heard?
Wednesdays and Thursdays.
Mm-hmm. And what rooms are they? Top floor, first floor?
No, on the first floor.
Interesting. So do you think if you had a customer who's filing probate to get letters of authority and they have a hearing date set and they were going to go to court, do you think you might be of benefit to them as a result of knowing where to go?
Absolutely.
Is there a coffee shop there or a little
Actually,
alcove?
there's no coffee shop. There's no food in this courthouse at all.
Are they allowed to bring in coffee?
I don't know. I didn't ask.
So you might want to find out. And if you have a customer
Okay.
going, you might say, and by the way, I'll meet you, then I'll bring a Starbucks because they don't sell coffee.
Okay.
Would that become a nice thing to keep a customer a little, who might otherwise be nervous, keep a customer kind of calm or appreciate or connected to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. What else did you learn while you're there?
That it's not as scary as I had anticipated it would be.
Whoa, not as scary. Why would it be scary? You look like a grown woman. What do you think would be there?
My experiences in courthouses has not been pleasant. Okay.
Okay, there you go. Whose has? I'm not going to talk any details if you're not, okay? But I'll say this. As a kid, my father was an attorney, and I did go to court with Dad, and that was kind of boring, right? If you're an 8-year-old kid, you're probably laying on the floor, and the judge yells at you. It's kind of my memory of it. Going as an adult, we're not going to talk about that, okay? Claire Monique, we're not going to discuss at all. So do you think other customers, viewers might also think it's scary to go to court?
Of course.
And what can you tell them?
It's not that bad. It's not as
How
bad as you think.
How valuable is that?
Yeah, I think it's pretty valuable.
And if an attorney has a client, do you think they're concerned their client might be nervous?
Yeah.
And how might they think about you as being there with the client, meeting them in court, having been there before, being able to assure them it's not that scary?
I think that would be valuable to an attorney.
I think so. Now, not all attorneys are smart enough to appreciate that. Many are too busy to appreciate that. And our job is to cut through the noise and help and give them the opportunity to appreciate the resource you can bring. Okay, so Now we've got data. We've learned where the room is, so we can be comfort to our customers. We can better help our attorneys, right? Did you learn where to park? Where do you park at your courthouse?
Right across the street from the entrance.
What's the cost?
There's no cost. This is a tiny little county.
So did you know it was free when you went there?
No, I
So
did
there you
not.
go. So you can tell your customer where to park.
Mhm.
Did you know where to park when you went there?
Just followed the signs.
Okay, but might ahead of time, if somebody told you, oh, by the way, you park right across the street on Main Street and First, would that be comforting
That would have
to
been
you?
helpful. Yeah,
Or maybe a map, you send a Google map ahead of time and you show where to park, right?
right.
You can meet them there and walk in with them, perhaps.
Hmm.
When you walk to the courthouse, did they have metal detectors and armed sheriffs?
They do.
Is that a little intimidating?
No, not really.
Okay.
It's
If you have
like,
a client maybe on a walker or wheelchair, they might appreciate some help.
yes, there's a ramp.
Okay, so some other things we learned now, where to parking, how to access the building a little bit.
Mhm.
While you're there, do you do any social media?
No, I did not.
Extra credit next time, and for anybody
Okay.
listening. And one of my team members, Patricia Castillo, went to court in LA County for a client who was getting full authority. We knew they were going to get it, but that's not the point. The customer is still nervous. And she went, and then she took a video on the way in, and she showed where the parking lot was, and where the courthouse was. And when you come, here's where I'll meet you. Now, in LA, they charge to park. Of course, we're in Los Angeles. But now she has a video to send to her customer to say, oh, here's where you park, and here's where I'll meet you. So it gives them a little more certainty. And then afterwards, her customer got the authority, and she did a little video with a customer saying, oh, she got letters of authority, and she's all happy, and thanks for your help along the way. So next time for extra credit, if you do have a customer going or not, leverage your time by doing some social media while you're there and posting it, okay?
Okay.
What's the number one thing that you got out of going to court that day?
Well, so far, just the fact that I can request all the probate cases that were filed in the last 5 years, and I can have access to that. That's unbelievable, considering that from everything that I've learned from the course and from you and from Chad, that it takes about 18 months to maybe 2 to 3 years for a probate case to be completely settled. So that gives me plenty of opportunities to find the personal representatives and reach out to them. No cost.
At no cost. And I was just saying, in Los Angeles, the average time of a sale of the house is 2 years from file date. Average, which means half sooner, half longer. I'm in escrow getting ready to close one from 2016. That's 6 years old. So what was your face like when they said to you, yeah, it's available and it's free? I wish I had a camera at that moment. What did you look like when she said that?
I was shocked. I was really shocked.
Yeah.
But the thing, what I found helpful was that the clerk was just welcoming and free with the information and the guidance.
Now, I want to tell anybody who's watching this, either you're live or you're on YouTube, whatever, it's not all like this. The point of this conversation is not to say, go to your county because it's free to park and they're nice and friendly and they're going to give you all the data for free. That's not the point. The point is she learned that by going, and the value is the process, not the result. Because if they don't sell the data, but she was there, there'd be some other manner for her to get the data. Maybe there's a computer, or there's a research room, or there's a person that you can hire. There's some answer to the question. And your job in your county where you do business is to figure that out. And she did that for her case, and that's how it is. And maybe it's not all the data, and it's not skip traced, and the phone numbers. Okay, all that's true. She can do that on her own. If she has data, she can get the phone numbers there's data services she can work with. But the real power is going there. The real power is taking responsibility to learn how to solve the puzzle, not just taking somebody else's word for it. So, Clemonique, I just want to tell you how proud I am of you, and I appreciate you sharing it with us. I think a lot of real estate agents would have just run off and celebrated and kept it to themselves. But I think you know that by helping other people behind you, you're going to be uplifted yourself. So I wish you continued success. I would love to see the
Thank
data.
you.
I would love to search it and see who the attorneys are, the different types of data that's available. If you're interested, reach out to me. I'd love to see if I can help you with that and give you some ideas what to do with it, okay? Fantastic. Thanks so much. Okay. Larry says that is she going to have to skip trace the leads? I guess we'll find out when she gets the data. And maybe that is the answer. She'll have to figure that out. But that's a lot cheaper and easier to skip trace, get phone numbers, if that's the way she wants to go with that. And then Brian asks, how are you reaching out to the PR's phone, mail, or email? Brian, is that a question for her or a question for me? Do you want to unmute yourself?
Claire.
Yeah, I don't think she hasn't the data yet, so I don't think she can answer the question. And so typically the filing forms don't have the personal representative's phone number. It has the attorney's phone number and email. And then you decide how you want to approach it from there. So but when she gets that, she'll figure it out. And then Larry says, have to put it in Excel format and skip trace the list for sure. Maybe, there's a lot of ways to do that, Larry. I would say, one way would be to skip trace and phone call. One way would be to skip trace and email. One way to skip trace and mail. Another one would be to see who the attorneys are controlling the business and reach out to them. Another one might be look where the properties are and go to the properties. So there's a lot of different ways to work the business. But if you have the data, and this is the other thing I want to tell everybody, I don't cold call petitioners, but I get the data. I use the data to help me understand who's doing business. When I get a case, I work with attorneys, I work with vendors who give me referrals, but I still need the data. So it may or may not be important to skip trace them directly. And the value is the process, not the results. I think that's the key to our business. We as real estate agents focus so much on, if I do this to get the results. And that's why I tell agents, when you start out in business, maybe not starting out in this probate niche, but you start in business, the best ways to start is cold calling on the phone and door knocking. Why? Well, one is just the process of cold calling and the process of door knocking get you talking to people. And you have to get good at talking to people no matter what process you're in. In my case, I generally have inbound referrals, but I still have to be good at talking to people on the phone and eventually have to be good at meeting them in person. So the process of going to court, it's not just what, again, I think it's a gold mine that she got the data for free in her county. That's not true in most counties. But the process of going there is even more valuable. I don't think she realizes yet, but my guess is a year from now, she'll really appreciate that even more. Brian says, first stop is a probate office at the courthouse. My challenge to all of you is you shall go. If you want to be a probate expert, at least go once. And while you're going to go, shoot a video of the parking lot, shoot a video of walking in, what that's like. You can't do video generally in the courtroom or photos, but you can do it going in, you can do it going out. Okay, a lot of love for Claire Monique. Congratulations, fantastic. Okay, good. Claire Monique, thank you for sharing with us. Appreciate it. That's no Pinal County, just a random courthouse photo. Haha. Yeah. Oh, okay.
You can show that. I made a quick template. So Claire Monique said she didn't get to record anything on social, but
you can accomplish a social post without having to record something there. So
Yeah,
no
there you go.
excuses, right? So here's a
There you
quick
go.
template I made in 2
What?
minutes. It's not Pinell County. I just put courthouse and that picture was there. But put 3 tips, customize it, upload it to your social media platforms, and then write a description talking more about your court visit. And obviously, if you guys have any questions, if you're going through probate, get in contact with me, your certified probate expert.
Well, I'll tell you what,
So,
also, if you Google search Pinell County Courthouse, you're going to find pictures of the courthouse.
yeah, you can just throw any, like whatever your county is, whatever your courthouse is, put that in there for the familiarity, right? People will stop scrolling as they're going through their Facebook timelines because they see a picture of something.
In most counties, the courthouse is somewhat iconic. Like in LA, the Stanley Moss Courthouse is somewhat recognizable, movies and TV and things like that. I'm sure it's true in other counties. People who've been there for a marriage license or divorce proceeding or whatever are likely to recognize it. I would definitely say it's easy to get actual photos of your own county. It's not even hard. And they're, generally speaking, they're available for reuse. So, but good job, Katt, of course, within 2 minutes has a social media post you guys can all use. That's fantastic.
Yeah, you just got to click. I think there should show a little teeny pencil at the bottom toolbar. It's not that visible, but it should be there when you click that template link so anyone can customize it quick. But really all it is a picture with some text. So just get creative, put your brand colors in it. I'm not a big fan of always slapping a logo everywhere possible, but if you feel like you need to do it for brokerage compliance, go ahead and do that.
Please follow all laws, whether you feel like following them or not. Just making fun. I'm sorry. A little real estate compliance humor. Sorry about that. I will just say this. In California, at eXp Realty, we should put our logo on any social media on our business page. It should be there somehow. Now, your page can have your logo and your Department of Real Estate number on it. Then every post doesn't have to have it. But it has to be there somewhere in your process. People who post stuff on the personal page, that won't work. If you're posting on a business page or business channel that has that marking on it, then yes, I think you're compliant there.
Yep. And that's a good point too, you guys. If you haven't really launched your social media wings, you don't have all your channels set up, it's a good consideration to make whether you want to set up a profile that's going to be personal where you talk about your business or business where it's always got to be business branded.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. You know, personally, I had a YouTube channel for years ago. When I came to launch a YouTube channel, I've been doing some live streaming on Facebook for a while. I decided I wanted to put it on YouTube. And YouTube wouldn't allow me to put up more than 10 minutes or something at the time. But my old YouTube channel, it was personal. I had already done it for a while, and so they allowed me to. So really my YouTube channel is my personal Google account, which is a little backwards, but I was able to do some things, and now I've built it, and it's kind of late. If you're gonna start over, you want to do it the right way. Lisa says, Katt, you're rad, you did that in 2 minutes. No, I'm sorry, Lisa, it took her 2.5 minutes. Katt's not quite that good. It's pretty amazing. Okay, put her template back up. Yes, it's a Canva link, and then you can edit it yourself if you want to do that. And yeah, and logo and license number, I believe. Yeah, again, that's all personal. Follow your rule. Make sure you follow your state rules, and make sure you follow your broker's rules, because we all want to be in compliance. Nobody's going to visit you in jail. Okay, that's been kind of fun talking about going to court. Any other questions, challenges, comments? Who's in process here? Work on something that we can work on together. Larry, let's get you unmuted.
Here, how's that?
That's fantastic. What's up, Larry?
Good. Hey, Victory. I did a consultation with Katt last Friday. That was well worth it. If you haven't done it, I'd recommend it.
Oh, he had a lot of homework.
I'm still working on your homework, and I still gave you high grades for that still. And I will tell you, Katt kind of concerned me because while we were on the Zoom call, she wasn't taking any notes that I could make. I'm taking notes. She's not doing anything but talking and giving great advice. And then about an hour later, I get this email, beautifully formatted with all these action items and stuff. And it was really good, except it was really much longer than I remembered it being. So that was good. And I just got 115 leads from all the leads today. So now the real work begins, working a database, making the calls, doing the follow-up, all that good stuff, but exciting. Nothing earth-shattering, but, just following the process.
Nice. So Katt, I know that I signed up one day and you did coaching for me on branding, but I don't see that on the website. Am I missing something?
So it's It's because it's being set up through the magnumopusproject.com website, which isn't fully designed and built yet. We just have a small Kajabi store
Okay.
through our LMS where we host our courses, which I can link.
Sure.
Yeah, that's where
Yeah.
I found it.
For those who are interested, but she did a great job of kind of helping me clarifying some branding issues and definitely worth looking into. So she'll put the link in the chat box for that. Good. So congratulations. And now the real work begins. And Larry, remind me, where do you do business?
Dallas, Fort Worth, Denton County primarily.
Denton County. Very nice. Well, come back, report that. So what's your battle plan? What are you going to do?
That was the subject of the phone call. The strategy was, Tuesdays and Thursdays are reaching out, calling the PRs. Wednesdays are going to talk to attorneys and other service professionals. And then I'm leaving Mondays and Fridays open to go meet the PRs and look at the houses. And if I need to, Saturday morning for an hour, I'll catch up some phone calls. So that's kind of the schedule going in. We're going to work it on both ends. And
Nice.
see if we can push out some, help some families.
Excellent.
And working on both ends.
Nice. Well, the more
Yeah.
people you talk to, the more money you make. So let's get in action. Okay.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Thanks so much.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Carrie has a question about, she took the CP qualification course just before it was revised. Can I go through it again? That's a Katt question or?
Oh yeah, just send us an email, support@probatemastery.com, and Tom will get you set up with proper login credentials so you can access everything.
Very good. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Deborah Wilson, hand up. Let's get you in here. What is going on,
Hey.
Deborah?
Yeah, Bill, hi, everybody. I just wanted to say I had a small win, but I guess it was a big win to me. I went to an attorney, well, I didn't go. I sent a video of myself talking to the attorney, and I called her to tell her I'm going to send it. So then I did send it, and she was very friendly. She had written an article in a senior forum, which is a newspaper, a little thin newspaper for senior citizens. And she wrote a probate article, and that's what I was calling her to let her know that it was very well written. I enjoyed it. It would help a lot of people, and maybe we could get some coffee and talk about how we could maybe, I don't know how I ended it, but it was something to that effect.
Nice.
So I thought I finally took some action and I wasn't afraid. And I thought, I'm just going to start with women attorneys. I think they could be mean, but I feel like I could get along with.
Oh, yes. Just FYI. Yes, they can be.
So, and I also had a probate property, and the owner now, he lives in San Diego. So he had to come back to Ohio a number of times to get stuff straight. And in the meantime, I was like the project manager. I'm getting the people to clean the house and for somebody to take the trash in the dumpster. And I'm not getting paid for that. I'll get a commission. But so I did a number of things like that to help them. And they're here now to finish everything up. So
Nice. Okay, so you're in Stark County, Ohio. So have you ever been to county courthouse in Stark County?
yeah, it's not in the courthouse. It's like in the city building or something.
Okay.
There's another building. But yeah, I have been up there, and our process is totally different. They told me that they don't have regularly scheduled stuff. You have to wait until an attorney is coming there for a certain reason. I spoke to the magistrate, which I didn't even know what that means, but anyway, he's the guy in charge. And he made it seem like they don't do it like your county does it in California. Like there's nothing ever going on that you can just go up there randomly. You have to go when they're actually having something.
Well, nobody has anything like Los Angeles. It's a whole different world.
Yeah. So anyway.
Okay. Well, I would say just, go there and learn and meet the people, maybe take them out to coffee or lunch or bring them a gift or something. But definitely, if you know those people, you're going to have the inside track on it. So good job.
Yeah, I have been to the probate office where the ladies work back there, and they're helpful. So
Good. Well, be their best. I would be their best friend. If they let you go back there and talk to them, see in LA, they have like these dividers and there's plastic and there's this,
Yep.
and they don't talk to you and it's very anonymous. But like when I was a mortgage officer, when I started the business, and you go to real estate offices and often the front desk would keep you from going in the back. But if you can get into the back area, I could spend all day in the back office meeting people and talking to them and chatting them up. That's how you build business. So I would be their best friend. So good for you.
good. Thank you.
Congratulations, Deborah. Good job. Okay, so somebody asked a question. I guess it's not self-promotion, but I have a program tomorrow that I run called getprobate.cash. And that is, I do Wednesday morning, tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time. I'm going to do an overview and a presentation on it. And then the coaching program, if you wish to continue with a small group mastermind, I'm going to install the content. That's 4 weeks starting on Thursday. Getprobate.cash. I'll go over all those details with you. $4.99, 10-person mastermind. If you want to join, you don't need to join. Tomorrow's free, and I will do an interview. And my goal is to bring in vendors and talk about the product on that Wednesday call. So hopefully that will be of value for everybody who's involved with probate. Again, tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, getprobate.cash. Hope you guys can join us for that. Okay, good. Deborah, fantastic. Claire, Monique, fantastic. Larry, fantastic. Who else has something they would share? Victories? Or want to share any questions? So Larry asked, can you talk about how you use estate exec software to market with? I'm not using it currently. I've looked at it. I'd like to add it in my system. Not quite sure how. I'm kind of still learning the process a little bit about it. So I can't, if there's somebody who's using it, I know Chad talks about it. There's some interviews on the website. I would look at that. But personally, I can't really add anything to that at this point.
I'm not sure if Brian Wilson's on the call right now, but I know he just spoke with Chad today. He took action immediately after going through the EARN course and immediately started reaching out. I'm not sure if that pertains to using the estate exec software. I don't know if I see him on here still, but in any case, that should be publishing Friday. I try for Thursday, but I'm probably going to publish it Friday. Great.
There you go. So watch the website and hopefully. Clemmy, sorry I couldn't get on. I don't know what happened. We had a big turnout. Thanks for all those who supported. We'll do it again tomorrow. And it was recorded. If you sign up for it, you'll get an email of the replay. So hopefully you'll get it tomorrow. Or if you email me, Claire Monique, I'll send you back a link directly.
Okay, Bill, I think that the reason I may have been logged out is because I tried to log in while I was at the office, and there are certain parameters that are locked. So the .cash might be one of them. I'll try to log in tomorrow from home.
Okay. Sometimes I try a different browser. I use the Chrome browser, but sometimes the thing doesn't work. Most computers have preloaded the Edge browser on it or Safari for an Apple. I have Firefox. So sometimes just a different browser will get you through. Sometimes there's just different settings that one program doesn't like for whatever reason. So I see a question here from Nina. She's asking, does anybody have a go-to bond company for removal of liens? So that's more of a general real estate issue. Oftentimes you'll have liens on, sometimes you'll have on a title report and we'll have an old lien, something wasn't paid off. They had a small loan, personal loan, judgment, and they can't find the person to reconvey it to clear the lien. And so sometimes you have a bond company will bond around it. You put money up and then they'll clear the title and then they'll solve the problem after the fact. So if you know of somebody there, go to Probate Mastery's Facebook group and you can answer that. And then let's see, Evan Gross, my namesake, no relation I'm aware of. Who else in St. Louis, Missouri, like to meet up and discuss real estate? He's visiting from New Jersey this week. So if you're in town, hit him up. And I think that's about it. We can keep it short if you guys are busy. You guys busy? I'm busy. I got a new listing yesterday. As an investor, I'll share with you a little story also. So I had a listing yesterday, which is great. And that's my basic business. I had a listing. It was a small property. It was a friend through my company. The broker referred them to me because he needed some help because it was a probate, a very complicated one. I was a listing agent, and it's turning into a short sale. And we couldn't get an offer, which I was surprised at the price we had, because it's not in the city. It's in a more rural area. But I think it's a great deal. And I said to the seller, listen, this is not normal. It's been on the market for a week now. I'd be glad to write an offer. I can't represent you. I'd have to resign as a listing agent and write the offer. I represent myself as a buyer's agent. Do you have somebody else you'd like to replace me with and let me present an offer? So I got my offer accepted on a short sale on a really good deal. So in addition, I think the market, in some places that were red hot, the markets are already moving in that direction. You'll see some foreclosures. You'll see some short sales. You'll see some distressed properties. If you watch my YouTube at all, I don't think we're heading to crash or crisis, but at the margins, there'll be more deals and more investor opportunities. And I think for all of us, I'm a real estate broker first, but at the same time, I have my investor business card in my pocket. As soon as I find the right opportunity, I'll whip it out. In my case, I did want to make sure I disclosed fully. I talked to the broker, make sure they're okay with it, and follow all the rules, sign all the paper, and all that kind of stuff. I think there'll be more of those opportunities. Truly, there's nothing special about the listing being a probate, but it is a trust sale. There's two trusts or the sellers and some complicated issues on the land. and an agent out of state who's related to the sellers referred it to me. So she saw me on my YouTube channel. So what I tell people, so the question Larry asked is, was listening for probate? What I tell people is my lead generation is exclusively probate. My business, about half is probate and half is not, because when people know I'm an expert in probate, they call me with other problems. I had a real estate broker call me about 2 years ago. He was litigating, he does civil litigation, and they were considering leaning a property, and he asked me to do a broker's price opinion on 2 properties. And I mean, I don't know about you guys, I do this for free to try to get listings. So I gave him about a 2-page report. I had comps on both properties. It was actually the same property 2 times at the time of the incident and then current. So like one 10 years ago and one now. So I had to pull the old data up and run it. It probably took me an hour. I haven't thought about it. And because he's an attorney who's giving me other business. So I'm glad. He called and said, hey, we settled and I need you to submit me an invoice for your work. And I said, what? I know, what are you talking about? You sent a broker's price opinion. We pay you for that. I said, well, how much? He goes, I don't know. What do you want to charge? I said, you know, a probate referee would charge 1% of the value. So it was $454. He said, great. I emailed him and he paid me. So I made $454 yesterday. You know, I basically did a BPO and an invoice. So when people ask, is my business, how much of business is probate? I'd say, you know, half of it is probate listings where the disclosure is probate, yes. But all of it's because of my probate marketing. I met that attorney in court, I guess 3.5 or 4 years ago, just walking down the aisleway. We had met socially. I'd met him. He knew who I was. We walked by each other. I didn't even know his name. I forgot his name or didn't remember it or whatever. And we chatted a little bit and I got his card and I put him in my marketing program and reached out to him and called him. And as a result, he's given me 3 or 4 listings. And then I got this $400, you know, free thing yesterday. So it's not about the probate, it's about serving your customers. And I really believe that the money we get paid is a reflection of the value we create for our customers. And if you focus on creating value for customers, the money will come at you. You have to worry about it. And without getting too spiritual, I think it comes from my spiritual beliefs that we're here to support each other. The system was created for us to be financially incented to support each other. When you focus on that, you have more money than you ever need. So, and if you're chasing the money, my experience is you'll never find enough. But if you're chasing people's problems to help them and comfort them and serve them, you'll have more money than you ever need, more love and appreciation than you ever need. Okay, another question from Larry. Larry, thank you for the questions here. Are you getting business from PRs and heirs that you worked with on their real estate? I've gotten referrals from PRs and heirs. Yes. I don't get as many because I think the nature of probate, at least in LA, it skews lower income. I think lower income people have less business to refer you to. Also, I don't really spend my time on that consumer referral marketing. I just don't enjoy it. It's not that's not good. And I know people love it. You know, one of my team members, she has, you know, parties every holiday season and she invites people to things and she posts on social media about herself and her family, which is great. And she loves that. I really enjoy working on the hard probates more than I do. And it all works out. So to answer your question, I think you can get a lot more business from PRs and heirs than I'm getting. But that's just not my focus. And I'd much rather work on attorneys and vendors and referrals from other agents than the PRs and heirs. That's just me. Are they in database? Yes. I put everybody I ever meet, everybody I talk to is in my database. I email everybody. If you give me your email address, you gave it to me for a reason, I'm going to email you. I don't scrape emails, but when I talk to you and you give it to me or you email me, I'm going to email you back. And as such, I send out a weekly email to everybody in my COI database, about 12 or 1,300 people. I also, because I'm building a national team of real estate agents, of probate agents nationwide, I email to agents, and some have joined my team as a result of that. So I email them that. I also email probate related stuff, and I promote my probate channel through my email database as well. So, but I email a lot. And I think, I'll tell you guys a cute story. The other day, I was in the market and a real estate agent who I'm never, you know, we're cordial. He's one of those guys who does like a deal a year. He's not really engaged in the business. He would always come to my office when we had parties, I think for the free hors d'oeuvres, whatever. He's a nice enough guy, no harm. So he walks up to me and says, Bill, can I talk to you a second? I said, yeah. And he goes, you know, I gave her emails. I go, oh, okay, thanks. He goes, well, no, you send way too many. and of course, think about it. How do you know if you're getting too many if you haven't unsubscribed, right? Like you can always unsubscribe so you wouldn't get too many. But also, they're too many to him because he doesn't want to do business with me. Well, that's okay. I mean, my open rates are phenomenal compared to most real estate agents because there are people who want to do business with me, and those who don't have unsubscribed. I'm fine either way. Like my job in life is not to convert people to want to work with me. My job in life is to find people who want to work with me and give them value. And so I think as agents, our social media needs to be really on point to engage with people and understand not everybody's going to work with you. Not everybody's going to appreciate you, whatever. I'll tell you another cute story since I'm on the topic. Katt's listening in. She's really a social media expert. But so when I do video, you may remember I used to not have the headset. And I have these kind of fancier earbuds that go kind of like newscasters. They go up behind your back and they go in your ears. You can't see them. It would look like you didn't have any headset on. And I would take the microphone out of the picture. And one of my real target referral partners, one time I was wearing a headset because those earbuds get a little tiring on your ear. And so I had it on. He goes, I love you with the headset on the microphone. He said, you should go that way all the time. So again, people who think of me as being high tech, people in my world, if you wear a headset and have a microphone, you're high tech. To high tech people, not having a headset and not having a microphone is high tech, but that's not my audience. My audience are impressed that I even have a microphone and have a headset. So so definitely I would put everybody, to answer your question, Larry, everybody I ever meet goes to my database. Some of you guys got my email. Some of you have unsubscribed. I get nasty emails only from realtors threatening to sue me because they claim to have unsubscribed 20 times. I personally unsubscribe everybody who sends an email, even though they could have hit the unsubscribe button. I do it myself gladly. That's my price. But I will tell you, don't let it bother you. Don't let it stop you from serving the people you love and care about. The other people don't appreciate you. Okay, other questions, comments? I don't see any hands up. I think we hit everything in the chat box. Anybody else have any victories, losses, questions? Oh my gosh, I'm just lost. Help me, anything? No? Going once? Going twice? I think sold. Love to have you participate if you're interested. Getprobate.cash, not .com, getprobate.cash tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time. I'm going to talk about using advanced inheritances as a tool in your business if you're a realtor or investor or attorney. I'm going to do an overview. I'm going to have some content in that call weekly. And then if you're interested, I'm looking to create a mastermind of people who want to go deeper on that topic. ProbateMaster.com is a program. If you haven't already taken it, sign up, take it, come here. This is the mastermind where we get together and share along the way how to get over those challenges, push through the obstacles. Like Claire Monique, we're going to push you to do some business. For those of you who heard Claire Monique's story, I challenge you, go to your courthouse. Just go. When you go there, take some video, take some notes, take video beforehand when you park your car, take a video when you leave, share it on your social media, come here and share what you learn with the team. That way we can all improve ourselves. Otherwise, everybody, do this every Tuesday, noon Pacific. Appreciate you. Love you guys. Thank you for your help. Reach out to me if I can help in any way and have a fantastic week. Thanks, everybody.